create that brand and keep it going.
That's
Hopefully,
right.
this time I hope that the echo goes away. Last time I had an extra window open for Zoom,
Oh,
so it echoed.
okay. Okay, yeah, that happens.
So now you're going to hear a quick something, but it should go away.
Mm.
I think we're good. Hi,
Oh,
everybody. I know that a lot of you don't necessarily watch these YouTube interviews at the moment, and that's okay with me and my guests. We don't care. We just want the interviews out there, right?
yes,
Obed?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
These interviews were created with you people in mind, and I'll tell you why. I say it every time. You go to comedy shows, and I've seen you leave disappointed. I've seen you step up to a comedy club window and try to figure out if you want to go see a show.
Mm.
And you don't know who to go see. I mean, you could Google and you could watch videos, but now you get a chance to see somebody talking about their real life. They're taking off the mask of entertainment and opening up their soul to you so you can get to know who they are. And then you can see if you want to support them. How's that for a plan? That's the whole purpose of these interviews. Plus, I'm lonely. Let's get real. I'm 72. I live alone. I travel too much for cats and dogs. So you are my cats and dogs. How's that feel? We have a wonderful guest sitting in the wings there, sharing half of the screen with me. And I'm going to read his introduction so you'll know who is this cat in the other window. I used to say cat in the 60s. They don't say it anymore. I miss that. Hey, he's a cool cat. Okay. Red Cup Talks is a podcast internet show that interviews actors, actresses, writers, directors, entrepreneurs, artists, and business owners and creatives on what inspires them to go after their dreams and visions and what pushes them to seek more. The hope of the conversation or interview is to inspire others that might be in the gray areas of their life to get up and go after their hopes and dreams. The creator, right there, and host of Red Cup Talks, show us your red cup. Red Cup Talks is Obed Burgess. That's him right there. He's an actor. We have to hear about that. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
writer, filmmaker, and owner of his own film company, Out the Womb Entertainment. Got
Yeah.
to find out where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
When doing all these things as well as speaking from time to time, he even aspires to take a dip into stand-up comedy. He has written plays for his church as well as skits on YouTube. He has recently starred in a 294 experience production of one woman man play. Now I want to make sure I said that right, so I
Yeah.
don't want to get canceled before 11 o'clock Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the ever so patient with me,
So,
actor, writer, and host of Red Cup Talks, Obed Burgess.
woo!
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I love the interview. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
the wonderful
coming
interview.
on, taking your time.
Anytime, anytime, anytime. Thank you for having me. I truly do appreciate it. Been a fan from afar, so it's great to finally be on this platform. Thank
It's
you.
so great to have you here. I know you showed up at Governor's when I was on a bringer show there in the small room, in the
Yep,
giggle room. And
yep.
I don't know if there's a lot of giggling going on, but there was some cackling.
No, you had a lot of like quick hitters, and it was really funny. I found it
Thank,
very comical. Yes.
thank you. It's so funny because you asked me a question and I get it all the time. You said, "Were you scared?"
Mm.
And I started over analyzing that, and I've incorporated into my comedy now to not look scared. I don't want to ever hear that question again.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't mean it by you look scared. I just ask sometimes because sometimes, especially in a quiet room, it can be very like, "Ugh," What are you gonna say? Are you? Am I funny? Am I not? So
Yeah.
that's why I asked. Is it scary? Because I kind of want to try it and see. Just see if I'm
That's what
that.
when people ask me that, I should say, why do you ask?
Sure, please ask.
Well, that was so nice of you to come to a show, and I had no idea you were that person that I was connecting with right there. You were like, if you couldn't have been any closer to the stage.
Really close.
And it didn't dawn on me who you were. Now, do you believe I have a brain injury?
Allegedly, man. I still don't quite believe it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, tell me and everybody who's going to be watching this show, all five of them. Just kidding. Tell people who who is Obed Burgess? Who were you at
Mm.
birth? Who were you growing up, grade school, high school, and your family? Like, tell us all about your early life before lately.
All right, which version of myself do I tell you? Let's see, because that's I always ask this question, and now I'm asked it. It's kind of weird. Um, I am an entertainer. I am uh, a human being. I am a human being. I am, everyone wants to say they're a superhero, and I'm a hustler, and all that. I am a human being. I just try my best to go after my goals and dreams, and I will fail, I will fall, but I will definitely get up again. So I'm a human being. Grew up uh in a good household. No crazy stories, no, drug addict as a mom or dad, none of that. Just good Christian family household. Always loved acting, always saw myself in that realm. I watching movies and playing it in your room and thinking about it, and then getting the opportunities to be part of plays in your church or whatever it may be, and then writing stuff, and then after that, people telling you, "Hey, you're really, you're good," and trying to write some more stuff, and then taking some time off to raise a family, and still having that itch to act and do things. And people were like looking at other shows on Netflix, like, hey, that could be you. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. You're just trying to pull my chain. But then putting that aside, and a friend of mine, shouts out to Paul Bryan. He literally was on Craigslist looking up roles for me. We used to work together. He would look up roles for me. And he said, hey, this would be a good one for you. I'm like, you think you're funny. And it was the One Woman Man play. And I'm excited to say that over this past weekend, I auditioned for that play and got the part. And we just came back from Jacksonville, Florida. So yeah, it was really good. We started in Long Island, New York, and then we branched off literally this past weekend, and did our first show in Jacksonville, Florida, and they loved it. And so it's great. It's great. It's great. But
That's
not only am I say again.
well, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a real big deal. I was really happy for the turnout, and to have. It's funny. My father, he came back from. He was visiting my grandmother over a weekend. She just turned 98, and he came all the way from Guyana to see me perform with my sister and my brother and his fiance. And when I tell you, to hear him like brag on me in the audience, I had to keep in character. So I was like, oh shoot, I don't want to cry, but it was a lot. It was a
Oh,
lot to hear him like, hey, that's my son. No, 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 no. I was just like, oh man. But then I had to stay in character, get the show going and whatnot. So it was really good. It was a great Father's Day weekend for me. So
yes.
I love it. I love it. I love
Well,
it.
what city are you in today?
Oh, I came back last night. I'm in New York right now. So yeah, I'm home in New York, but it was just a crazy, busy, fun weekend. So shout out to the Theater 294, 294 Experience, aka Marla Robeson, who was the writer and producer of that whole play. He brought us all back from New York and brought us down there. Some people from Jacksonville as well. Shouts out to them. And it was just a great experience. Great
That's
experience.
fabulous. Fabulous. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
talk to
Here,
me about your stand-up.
stand up. Now, here's the thing about stand up. I have not yet even dipped my toe into stand-up, but I have this crazy concept. So like you mentioned before, I literally started my film company. I believe it was either 1 or 2 years ago. I got it officially there because I write things from time to time. And so I have this idea and concept for a comedian. And so I know for research purposes, I probably need to dip my toe into it. And, so I I have some things here or there, and I've emceed at some parties. I emceed at my sister's party, and just tried some jokes here or there. And actually, funny enough, next week at my aunt and uncle's wedding anniversary, I'm supposed to be emceeing there. So I'm gonna try some stuff. I'm gonna put some jokes out there, and if people laugh, they laugh. If they don't, they don't. My in-laws' anniversary, actually last year, I also emceed there, did some jokes, whatever, so people laugh. So I'm not where I want to be, but I'm moving. I'm taking baby
Getting
steps.
there.
I'm crawling. I'm crawling.
Now, do you
So,
have friends that are comedians that you can run those jokes by them and they can put words in different places if they need to be?
well, I have you, and I have
Yes.
some other people that have done it before. My great friend Isaiah Wright. He also owns a film company, Great House Vision. And so I just run some things by you guys if you don't mind. And
Please do.
yeah, definitely will, because that's an area that I take very serious. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, anybody can be a comedian. No, no, no. To go up on stage and to purposely be funny, in my opinion, is very hard. So I give you guys kudos for it, and I will definitely be picking your brain.
Well, I was talking to a guy here today. You're really lucky because earlier today, when I was lonely and I don't
Mhm.
have cats or dogs, I walked next door to the coffee shop. And by golly, every time there's somebody there that's lonely too. And this guy talked to me and he wants to do comedy, but he's scared. And here's what I told him: not scared, not that you're scared, but hesitant. That it seems daunting to have material and go on stage and expect gut laughs and hope that you'll get the laughs. And here's what I have to say about that.
Mm.
If you go up there being totally truly yourself and
Mm.
sharing as much truth, a high percentage of truth with some exaggeration, and they can tell that most of it is truthful, and then there's exaggeration, and they can kind of figure that out themselves.
Hmm.
And don't worry about if what you say is going to get the laughs, but when you're newer at it, do other things to get the laughs. So,
Hmm.
for instance, effective pauses, eye contact, facial expressions, hand gestures. Like you can actually cause an audience to give you an applause break. A joke will get an applause break if you just go like that.
Mm.
I didn't know this. And
Wow.
there's certain things you can do to get people to get a laugh. You can go, that's the end of the joke. You know, like Carrie Caravas is really good at delivering something really dry with a straight face and then going, you know, and like, and if you're worried, if the audience picks up that you're nervous waiting for a laugh, they're going to be reticent. But if they think that you're just being yourself and being silly and just trying to give them a gift of laughter, they'll respond.
Mm. Okay. All right.
Regardless of what the words are. The words at that point don't even matter.
True. True. All right. I'll take that into account because
And
I.
connecting, you got to connect. You got to stay connected with the audience the whole way through. Like
Mm.
eye contact, moving around through the audience unpredictably, you know, making sure that they're getting it, checking in with them, not like you're needy, but like, I just want you to receive this. I want you to get, and not care about the laughs. The laughs will be the result of being up there connecting and being yourself.
Mm. It's like a conversation in a sense with the whole room, and you're inviting them into your world. Interesting.
If
It's
they think
similarities to stage acting, but I love it. I love it. I'm taking notes. I'm taking
A
notes.
lot of times I think that comedians get up there they make a mistake of wanting to receive 6 laughs a minute, and the
Mm,
audience can feel it. And that you've got to go in there with the attitude that I'm here to give you something.
mm.
You go with a pure heart to give, you're going to receive.
Wow. Wow. You said a lot there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
yeah.
heavy, but
You said a lot.
it's something that Tommy Chong taught me.
Mm, yes, yes. And thank you
He's
for
like
that.
a spiritual guru type rabbi slash.
Definitely
He's
is.
so wise. Got to listen to the people that are wise out there.
Hmm. Yes.
So that's just something I wanted to impart. Is that
You. Thank you.
no
Absolutely.
sense. Like people will just love you if they know you're being yourself.
True.
And if you're like, I see so many people that get up there and they're like nervous, or
Hmm.
they're so worried that well, that joke didn't land. It doesn't matter if a joke lands. Do something with your eyes and get a laugh. Just get them laughing. Doesn't have Let your ego go. They don't have to laugh at your joke. They can laugh at the tag you do afterwards.
Mm.
You can tag it many ways. You can, you know, some of the best comedians were slapstick, like Dick Van Dyke and
Yeah.
the guy on Friends, Matthew Perry, like they do
Mm.
things way beyond what's coming out of their mouth.
Mm. Yeah. True. Very true.
Yeah, and you've
Very.
got the acting and probably a lot of ability to improv too, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think you'll do very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
truly appreciate that.
So run your stuff by me. We'll get on a private Zoom and I'll hear it and see you perform it. And I'll have
Okay.
ideas for you, no problem. And then sometime when I need you to listen to what I'm going to say, maybe you can pay me back that way.
Sure. I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
So,
Uh,
did you grow up in America? You have a father in Guyana, South Africa.
no, South America. But
South America.
it's the
That's what
West
I meant. I
Indies
meant
people.
to say South America. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all right. It's all right. No, we are born and raised Brooklyn, New York. My family, my mom and dad were married. They raised us together. I have two sisters, little brother, one older sister, one younger sister, and yeah, grew up, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Regular kid.
And
Went to church.
so you have always had a penchant for acting.
Yes,
And like,
absolutely.
at where in your life did you go off the deep end and say, I'm going to go on stage and tell jokes? When did that?
I
When,
so
when did you need a lobotomy?
I, so it's the same thing with acting. It's like I thought about doing the comedy thing. I would watch certain stand-up comedians and I always admired it. And I was like, I would do it, but I don't know. Like so sometimes at like parties with family or whatever, I would say some jokes here or there, and it would be like people would laugh. My mother, who was very stern, like she would like take a lot for her to laugh. When she laughs that much, I was like, aha, aha, I have a gift here. Now, is it acting, just acting, or is it, whatever? So I would try little things here or there. And it was funny. I kind of gave up on it, like comedy. I don't know. It's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's same thing with acting. I did it for a while. I was doing stuff with plays and other things of that nature, but I took a break just to get my life together. I was raising the family, taking care of my kids. That was all I was thinking about. But after getting my feet wet with the One Woman Man play and other short films that I was a part of, I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe I can do comedy. And I saw a comedian, I forget his name, but I saw his delivery and I was like, I could do that. I don't know. I think I could do that. I think I could do that. So, and I had a whole story idea over, it's about a comedian and I've been writing it here and there and just writing little things. And I have a friend of mine who I think is hilarious. So we would say a little stupid stuff at parties and things of that nature. And I want to put him in that as well. And just creating that whole storyline made me realize, you know what? I might have to really get my feet wet in comedian and being a comedy.
Absolutely. I go to a thing, I don't always go to it. It's free. It's called jokezoom.com. Have you heard of it?
I think you mentioned that last time I saw you.
Yeah. It's difficult for me because I do have still a residual brain injury. And sometimes a lot of technical steps make me go, forget about it. I'm not in the mood today. So, like, you have to click here and click there and do this and do that. And like, but once you figure out that system, you can go every day, sometimes twice a day, and take one joke a day and work on it and get 5 or 10 people's input on different stuff to do with it.
Mm, okay.
That's been kind of cool.
All right. I'll definitely look into that.
And
Definitely.
then find somebody above you in comedy,
Mhm,
somebody that's open micer or headliner, anything in between, and sit down and just say, "This is what I'm doing. This
mm,
is what I'm working on," and just start having conversations with comedians about your process and your jokes, and you're going to get wonderful ideas.
mm.
Some of them you're going to throw in the Hudson River. I'm not going to lie. Sully Sullenberger wanted
uh,
to throw part of that plane in the river. Don't even get it twisted. It was not a picnic for him. It's not his best day.
I hear
He
you.
probably needed new underwear. That's a visual.
Definitely is. Definitely
Of
is.
course, then again, if he'd have let the plane go down, they could have washed his underwear.
This is true. This is very
Just
true.
things to think about.
Hmm.
So let's say you decide to go to an open mic today
Okay.
and try some material, which you haven't said you're going to do. But let's say you lost your damn mind and you went on stage today at an open mic
Mm.
and it went well. Then what would you plan to do with comedy? Let's say you
Mm.
were the hit. Like they didn't even know it was your first time doing comedy on stage. Then what would you do if it went well?
I'd keep doing it. I'd keep doing it. I'd keep doing it. I'd keep going to more open mics. First of all, see if someone, maybe in my family, paid them off. And after realizing that they haven't been paid off, oh my God, I'll go crazy. I'll keep doing more stuff.
Do you think that you're going to be a setup punch kind of comic or a storyteller embellishing stories
I
or
think I
a
could,
mixture?
yeah, I think I'll be a mixture. I think I'll be a mixture. I don't like to make too much fun of certain things because like I don't want to hurt feelings. But I know like if once I go, I'm liable to say whatever. So it's like trying to find that balance of, hey, don't talk about that, talk about this, or change your name here or there, like. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I could do both because I kind of do that a little bit here and there. So
So, Obed, in your introduction, you said that you do Red Cup talks. Talk
yes.
to everybody, including me, enlighten me on Red Cup talks. For the
So
longest time, I thought it was your name.
it's, it's all good. If you want to call me Rec Up Talks, I'm okay with it. I'm not offended. You won't get canceled. Uh, it's not an offensive term. But Red Cup Talks. So for years, actually, I've been one to always want to know what got someone from point A to point B. So many people say, "Oh, I hustled and I grind and I'm self-made," and then you do research and you realize, no, you happen to meet somebody that knew somebody that helped you get here, get there. And I feel a lot of people want to know. They want to be inspired. They want to go after their goals and dreams. And sometimes you dream of it, but it seems so far away. And the purpose of Red Cup Talks is to say, no, it's not far away. You just got to take one step to another, and you'll get there eventually if you don't quit. And then there are things in my life that has happened that not that I'm there yet, but there are definitely steps that I have taken to get better at life. And if you talk to 13-year-old Obed to see where he has been now and has done as a blankety blank year old person, it's I've made progress. I've finally done something. So it's to provide inspiration. The name Red Cup Talks actually came from my first interview. I had no idea what to call it. And a friend of mine, who was also owner of Eclipse Graphics, Matthew Johnson, he came up with the name right on the spot. He said, "Yo, I know someone's doing Red Table Talk, whatever it may be, and I know you like to have drinks or whatever and have great conversation, because that's actually where the concept came from. I would have drinks with random people, and we would talk about deep stuff that had nothing to do with anything, but it was just really inspirational." So he said, "How about you call it Red Cup Talks?" I said, that sounds interesting. I didn't think that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And I copyright, trademarked it, and started keep doing more interviews and did more interviews. And then I met you through a comedy group and was able to interview Tommy Chung last year because of you. And I thank you for that every time I
How
get a
did
chance.
that go? I never watched it.
You were on, I think you were on the live, but it was great. It was great. It was great. It was really great. We still have to re-edit it and put it out there, but it was great. He was a good time. Funny enough, I never knew his birthday is the same week, maybe 2 days or a day before my birthday. So he smoked one out for me on my birthday, and which was great. I was honored, and we definitely had a great conversation. Definitely had a great conversation.
Did you
So yeah.
find it hard to get a word in edgewise?
So, there were there were moments. There are definitely people that are like, "Hey, take over the conversation." I'm like, "No, let him talk. Like, whatever he wants to talk, fine." But I'll pull. That's what editing is for, So I'll pull it back in. We'll make things happen. But he was definitely
When
wonderful soul.
I've had him on like 4 times, a total of 5.5 hours. And the
Nice.
first time, I was like, I couldn't get a word in, and I was like, I'm not going to interrupt him. Are you kidding me? I'm a
Exactly.
good girl from the 50s. We didn't have the right to interrupt a man. I'm just letting him go and go. And then you see through each interview that I get a little more gutsy.
Yeah, yeah, and you just got to. You got to be gutsy. You have to take that risk because again, it's your platform, no matter how small you think it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So who else have you interviewed that really knocked your socks off?
Oh man, there's so many. So an artist named Harmony, who actually I learned from these interviews in general, and then starting my own film company, is that you just gotta ask. And sometimes you're so afraid because it's like you don't want to be rejected. You don't want to come off too eager or thirsty. You want to do it the right way, but there is no real right way. You just gotta. Everything's a lesson, so you just gotta learn it and keep moving forward. And if they say no, that's not the worst thing that can happen because you're
Yeah,
still gonna live. So as
yeah.
long as you're alive, keep taking those shots. But I
So
had
how many interviews have you done?
okay, so we're on season, I believe it's season 4.
Season? What in the world
Season
is a
4.
season?
So it's like maybe 12 episodes a season. So it's 10 to 12.
Says who?
That's what I go by. That's what I go by. That's my rule. Okay. I did 10 or 5 to 10 episodes. All right. I'm taking a break. End the season. Go.
I'm on season 500.
Well, great. That's
I'm kidding.
wonderful. As long as
I
you
didn't know.
identify
I
as
didn't know.
good.
You're a man for all seasons. I
Hey,
need
that's what they say. That's what they
I gotta pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just interviewing people. I don't know. Season.
Hey.
Like,
So, but yeah, I think I want to say we have about 40 episodes. I'll say that. I think we have about 40.
do you have a favorite? First, like you probably have favorites for different reasons. My funniest, I had a funniest, that was
Okay.
Stephen Briggs, the comedian. Because the whole time I was interviewing him, he's like 35 years old. Whole time I'm interviewing him, he's trying to convince me to be a cougar. He's not letting me interview him. And I thought it was really funny. Like,
Shooting a shot. You're shooting a
give it
shot.
up, like it took a whole hour, and finally I just said, okay, I'll be a cougar. I'm not going to be a cougar. I just to shut him up.
Oh. So after the interview, he just had his head down, like,
They're
"You're a
like,
cougar,
hey,
right?" No.
huh? Yeah. But the other day I got to interview Brian McFadden.
Mm,
Funniest interview ever. But I
nice.
forgot to hit record. And it
Oh,
didn't go to Zoom. It didn't go to YouTube. So the whole thing is nowhere. We have to re-record. But
wow.
he's a very funny man.
Mm,
I
mm,
like the way like he could read the phone book. Not that we have those anymore, but he could read, a dictionary. I think we
mhm.
still have those.
Yeah.
And a
Well, that's
Wikipedia page, whatever. He could read and he pauses and
mm,
it's like he's boxing and stuff. La la la,
nice,
and then pause,
nice.
blah, 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 and you
Those
just
are the
get
greatest.
there.
Those are the greatest. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the
Those
guy's
are the greatest.
fabulous.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, favorites. I and this is gonna sound so damn cliche, but I love each and every one of them because it's again, you're talking about someone that was really shy for interviewing people that were doing something, or you could see that they're on their way to doing something. So for me to like, hey, can I interview you? Question mark. They say yes. Oh, that's a win for me. So but I do have there are some that were definitely really great that I was like, "Ooh, that was, it just flowed. It just flowed." Those are my favorites. But each and every interview I love it because it's again one more than me not. It's one more than me sitting down thinking about the concept. If that makes sense. I can
Yeah.
remember thinking about it and talking about it, but not doing anything about it or being too scared. So for me to be doing it, that's a win for me. That's a win.
I love the whole precept that you have for your
Mm,
interviews. It's very
thank you.
interesting. It's pretty much aligned with what I'm doing in
Mhm,
comedy.
mm, mm. Yeah. Again, I feel that inspiration could come from anybody. Because even the people that I interview, some of them, have told me, "You want to interview me?" Yeah, because you're doing something. Your normal is someone's dream. And because you may not be where you want to be, but to the person that hasn't done anything, you're an inspiration. So tell
Wow.
your story. You don't know who's watching. The amount of people that I've interviewed that I've watched from afar for years, and they're doing something. And when I ask them, they're like, "You want to interview me?" I'm surprised because I'm like, you're great. Like, what do you mean? You're really good. So
So
that to me is the inspiration that keeps me pushing forward. So yeah.
I like the way that everybody you love their interview for some different reason than you love the others. You might not like I have the funniest interviews. I have the longest amount of time I talked with somebody and kept it interesting, that it kept flowing for the longest,
Mhm.
and there's different reasons why some I don't have a bunch of funny ones that are the top funny ones. I have like one top funny one now,
Mhm.
one that went the longest that was interesting. I've got the most difficult interview, like
Wow.
you had some
How was
difficult.
that? How was that? Because that's some, go ahead. How was that? How was that?
So one guy, um, it doesn't matter what sex he is, like a guy or girl. One interview, the
Mhm.
person was, what's the best description? Okay, so I could say, "Hi, how are you today?" "What do you mean,
Mhm.
how am I?" "Well, we're about to go live. I'm just checking to make sure that everything's cool. You sound great. You look great." Combative. And then I said, "Okay, we're about to go live," and did his introduction. And then I said, "So, where do you live at this time?" Like I like to have people understand this guy lives in the Bronx, this gal is from Chicago, the
Mhm.
suburbs, whatever. And he's like, "That's not important." And then I asked another question,
Wow.
"Who came up with these questions?" And I'm like, I didn't know this was going to be my roast. This is supposed to be your interview, you know. So I wrote him afterwards and I said, this was your opportunity to get my followers to fall in love with you. Why are you messing that up for yourself? And
Mm-hmm.
he says, I'm sorry, I'll give you another interview. And like he's never done that. So
What a
that
guy.
was my worst experience.
Yeah, that sucks. That really does sucks. I can't say I had a combative one. I did have somebody leave a really interesting comment under a video I did. And
What was the
normally
comment?
it was something crazy like, who are you to be talking about what I went through or what people go through? What degree do you have? And all that stuff. Mind you, it's a word of the day, it's a word of inspiration. And this person is like typing away. And I just simply, I was in the mood, I had a little time, but I was like, you know what, delete. And that was that. Like normally I would, but one thing about just current events in general. I remember one time someone commented something and I said, let me enlighten this guy on the issue at hand. And I'm typing away, and he types something back, and then I type something back. And I literally wasted half of my day going back and forth with a guy from Texas that I'll never meet, never bump into. So it's like, hey, if I ever do see something, I'm just gonna be like, delete. That's it. I don't have time. Time is, after a certain events in my life, I don't have time to waste. I can't, back and forth and see things my way. No, you see things my way. No, I'm not.
I'll be. What's the longest amount of time you waited for somebody to say yes to an interview? I've waited like 3.5 years for a yes.
Wow. I've waited maybe 6 months, for an interview. And I'm understanding because again, people have schedules and things of that nature. And I'm not one to be like, hey, like after the 100 times, if you don't want to do it, I'm fine with it. I might remind you every so often, but I'm okay. I'll be fine. There are other people out there, and if you want to do it, just let me know. I had one person. They, I was like, hey, let's do it. Hey, just send me XYZ for it. They never responded. Then all of a sudden, hey, you want to do it? I'm like, okay, just send XYZ. Never send it. But every time. So then after a while, I was just like, all right, you know what? I'll leave you alone. You don't want to do it. You just like the conversation. Which is cool. I talk, whatever. But
Yeah.
You're not serious. And that's
so
fun.
where do you have your interviews that people can watch them?
So yes, my interviews are on Instagram. They usually are Instagram live format. So if you go to Red Cup Talks on Instagram, and then go to the IGTV or where the videos are, and you'll see different episodes of great guests: Leslie Cruz, Shayla Williams, Harmony, Matthew Johnson. The list goes on and on. Octavia Billups, just great people that are owners of their own business. Prince Smith, Isaiah Wright, owner and operator of Great House Vision. So yeah, you can see those interviews. And what I'll do is, for those that are on Facebook, I'll repost some today and you can take a look and see. But yeah, great.
Fabulous. So what's the goal in your life? You're a father. How many children do you have?
2, girl and a boy.
What? Oh, nice. What ages?
12 and my son's turning 11.
A girl. The girl's the oldest.
Yes, she is. Yes,
Look out, world. She's going to be a CEO.
Yeah. Yeah, she's growing fast. And they're both growing so dang fast. I'm still and they're so tall, and it's just crazy. But they're my babies.
So what area do you live in? New York State?
Yes.
What part of New York State do you live in?
New York City area, Brooklyn-ish, Queens-ish, whatever.
Love it. Yeah. Don't stalk him, folks. Don't try to.
If you do, you won't find me. But hey, if you do, just be nice. Don't be weird.
Yeah. Don't think you're going to find anything from his IP address.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Leave me alone. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. I'll buy you on me. Let's be friends.
In my day, when they said IP, they were talking about something you did in the bathroom, but now it means something. Things have changed. That's all I'm saying.
Change. You
You're
change.
welcome. So what do you want people to know about who you are
Uh,
that
um,
can help change their life? Because that's how I see you. I see you as somebody that helps people cope, helps people make changes without beating them over the head. I think you leave people better off than they were before.
wow. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. I try. I try. Um, I'm. You know what? I'm a creative. I'm a creative because it's not just the Red Cup talks. It's also, the out the womb entertainment. The I like to entertain people, whether it's funny or serious. There's a message in it, and so if you could look past maybe the quality of certain things and look at the message, that's what I'm here for. Whether it's through inspiration, making you laugh, making you cry, making you think, that's what I'm here for. So if you're interested in being inspired, follow me on Rec Up Talks on IG or Facebook. Follow me on Out the Womb Entertainment, one word, on Instagram and on YouTube, and check out what I'm doing. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to talk, I'm here. I'm here for you. So that's
I want to be interviewed.
well. Listen, let's do it. I've been
Okay.
chasing you down. I've been chasing you down for years. So
You
let's
have?
finally do it. It would be an honor for me to interview you because, again, your story is important and inspirational, and I feel that many people need to hear that.
Absolutely. I believe you. Come across very authentic. So I
Thank
love
you.
the way that you have a passion and you're making it happen. Talk to me about the name, Out the Womb Entertainment.
So Out the Womb Entertainment, that is my film company. And the reason why I chose Out the Womb Entertainment, I'll give you two reasons. One, so I'm a part of this, I'm a leader in a church that I go to. And my late pastor who passed away in 2020, he sent I was thinking about what to name my film company. And he randomly texted us a text about you got to give birth. It's time to give birth to the things that God's put inside you and things of that nature. And I said, wait a minute. I talked to some people that were part of that text. And I said, wait a minute. I got it. Out the Womb Entertainment. Out the Womb Entertainment. So, and why Out the Womb Entertainment? When you think about giving birth, it comes through intimacy, sex, and then that seed that's inside of a woman takes time to develop, takes time to eat, get nurtured. And after 9 months, usually, it's time for it to give birth. And that baby comes out and is hopefully a blessing and a good reflection of the parents or parent in some cases. So Out the Womb Entertainment is literally things that were in my mind, ideas, concepts, thoughts for years that I have finally decided to give birth to and show the world. Sketches, films, movies, things that I've been thinking about for years, things that I write or have hidden. And I'm finally deciding, you know what, it's time to give birth and show the world my baby Out the Womb Entertainment. So that's what it is.
That's fabulous. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing. And so follow him, follow Obed Burgess on Instagram, Facebook. Look at all his videos on Facebook where they have the um, digital media. What did you call that section of Instagram?
Also, Instagram, it's like it says IGTV, or you could just go down, literally log down my profile, and you'll see different like wallpapers, Obed Burgess interviewing someone, Leslie Cruz or whoever. And just click on one and let me know what you think. Inbox me, be nice, be nice, of course, but critique. And if you want to be interviewed, by all means, interview me. Let me interview you. Let's talk and let's have a conversation that could inspire people to go after their goals and dreams and get out of the gray area of life and into where they're supposed to be.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, How come do you care so much about people? Where did that compassion come from?
Why do I care so much about people? It depends who the person. No, I'm joking. Um,
Who instilled that in you early on, or how did that come about?
I would say, and this may sound really cliche, but my faith, my own triumphs in life, um, my own personal things that I've gone through, you know. So to give a little background, there are times in my life where I wasn't the most confident person. There are times in my life where I didn't believe. I believe what certain other people would say about me rather than what I know I can be or what God would say I can be. So because of that, and then me finally believing in myself and seeing where I came from to where I am today, it inspires me that, you know what, maybe I can share that with somebody. Because, you see sometimes, and I don't know if this is right for me to say, I don't know what the correct term is now, but they call it now self-destruct. You see so many people give up, like literally give up on life because a breakup, um, family, where they came from, their story, which is, I mean, granted, some people have gone through a lot of crazy stuff. But if my voice can be something that can help you move forward, then I'm willing to do that. Am I perfect? Hell no. I make mistakes. Ask my
You're not
wife, ask
perfect?
my family. Never. I'm not. I am
Well,
not.
I'm
Just because,
deleting this video.
oh no, I am. No. But I'm not. I'll make mistakes. I may say something that may offend you, the whole nine. But you shouldn't be canceled for that. You should be understood. That's why I say I'm a human being. I make mistakes. Yes, I've accomplished some things. I've done some stuff. But at the same time, I'm still human. I can still make a mistake. I can still offend people. And I feel that if people understood that and move forward with life and understand that, that rejection doesn't mean that your life is over. It just means that it's a lesson that you learn to either move forward or stay away from that area of life. I think the world will be a better place. So that's what, Rec Up Talks is become, and it is. And funny that you even mentioned that question, because a lot of times, again, I go to church, I minister at my church and things of that nature, but some of the deepest conversations I've had is at the bar. Is
Totally.
getting a drink, you get a little whatever drink you, and just sitting down and talking to random strangers, and whether it's the guy that looks at you as a threat and now wants to fight you for no reason, or the person that's just sitting in the corner quiet drinking, and you just strike up a conversation, and now all of a sudden you guys are best of friends, or they just needed to hear that for that night. That's what Red Cup Talks is all about, having that conversation to inspire and help people move forward while having a drink. So
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. Let's say this is my
absolutely.
last question. Let's say this is your last day. The good Lord told you that this is your last day on earth. What are you
Hmm.
going to do with your 24 hours?
Okay. The first 6 hours, I'm
Or
going
or you
to.
can answer, what are you regretting that you didn't accomplish?
Mm, my last day on earth. Whew, that's a lot. I'm going to spend the day with my family.
Are you going
Um,
to tell them?
mm, I don't know. I don't know. I think it will be more. I don't know. I don't know. That's a
That's
tough
a
one.
tough one.
You can't just answer that.
I did.
I don't.
Like, I
I
wouldn't
don't
know
know.
how to answer it myself.
Yeah, that's a lot because your last day on Earth. There are definitely things that I would try, but knowing that I only have 24 hours, I would probably. Yeah, I would. I would want to leave a great impression on my kids and my wife, and just let them know that you really changed me for the better. Every negative, I try to say this to my family as much as possible, whether it be my family, my kids, my wife, or my brothers and sisters, you know, every negative thing I've ever done is because it was my decision. But every positive thing that I've ever done, they have inspired. So if I could let them know that, I know that other people have different, their circumstances were different. For me, every negative, every bad thing I've ever done, I know it was my fault. I didn't have to do it. It was
Wow.
because I made a decision and I have to live with that. But every
I think that's
positive
the
thing,
best, that's the most brilliant thing any human has ever said that I've heard.
wow, thank you.
It really resonates with my life where I'm at. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, because growth is, or maturity, as people like to say, is taking responsibility of what you've done and not blaming others for your mishaps. It's
Love
hard. It's hard because sometimes, the wrong word will trigger you to be like, F you, F everybody. But sometimes you have to say, you know what, if maybe I was a little too emotional. Maybe I didn't hear that other person out. Maybe I'm too much in my feelings and I'm not really listening to what you said. Maybe you're not saying what I want you to say, and that's why I'm upset.
it. Bingo. Maybe
To
you're
the
not
guy that
feeding my
wanted you to be a
ego.
cougar. Say again?
Maybe you're not feeding my ego.
Yeah. Yeah. To the
Wow.
guy that wanted you to be a cougar, maybe you're not saying what I want you to say.
It's so funny. I saw him the other day at Wise Guys here
Okay.
in Vegas. And I said, "Do you even remember me?" Because, like, he's kind of famous in comedy, goes around the
Okay.
country. And he goes, "Yes, I remember." I said, "Do you remember trying to convince me to be a cougar?" He's, "Yes, I remember that." I'm like, I didn't. He goes, "Why do you ask if I remember you?" And I go, "Because you were over at the convention center." And I said, "Oh, I live right across the street. I'm going to come over and say hi." And I go, "You didn't act like you wanted to see me." Not that I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to stir up a relationship. I was just a fellow comedian, right? He was
Mm-hmm.
in town. And he goes, "No, I was busy working." And I was like, "Well, I got the impression that you didn't even remember who I have. You ever like thought you connected with somebody just as
Oh,
a human, and then the next time it's like square one?"
yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. You think that everything is, oh, and then they're like, and it's like, oh, for me, and this sucks because again, you got to give people chances. You got to understand that everyone else is a human being as well. I thought I had a connection with somebody, and they just never really answered back or called back. So me, I'm like, word, okay, bye. Bye. I've done it before where I've begged and it just felt weird. I didn't like the way that felt. So I just was like, no. But I come to find out they thought I was being standoffish as well. So, it's like sometimes you just gotta have that conversation over a drink, over whatever. And a lot of mishaps and misunderstandings will happen if you just talk.
Absolutely.
There's one time I should have been a bigger person and gone over, but I didn't because I was being, myself. So yeah, you regret those things, but you got to move forward, and hopefully you get a chance to explain and make things better. Because life's short.
Absolutely. And like talking things out with people is so important because
Yes.
like we're living in our own little bubble, and then we get a feeling and we could be totally off base.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Very
Thank,
true. Very
thank
true.
you so much, Obed Burgess, on Instagram and Facebook as Red Cup Talks. Tons of videos. Scroll and find them. Thank you all so much for watching.
Before
Share
before
this.
before we go, I just want to say first and foremost, I'll raise a glass to you because you're the inspiration. You are doing things that I definitely want to do in comedy. You're taking that risk, that jump into comedy. You've done it for many years. You do so many things for veterans. You bring such awareness to those things, and people in this day and age just for whatever reason don't care as much as they once did. So here's to you. May you continue to be the great person that you are. May you continue to inspire others and do comedy. I can't wait for that comedy special. Maybe I can be an opening act. So here's
Yes,
to you.
let's do that. You'll be my opening act because nobody else asked. I know a lot that would like to be the closer. Like
I'll be an opener. I'll be
they would
opening.
like to close it down.
No, nope, that's your job. That's your job. I just want to be open.
Thank you, Obed. Have a
No
nice
problem.
day, and I really love you a lot.